Okay, guys, today I just wanted to talk about a game called Life is Strange. So no, I'm not just talking about how life is actually strange, because of course, that's I could, I mean, anyways, Life is Strange is an episodic thing. Like if you've played Telltale games, all the episodes they release every few months. That's essentially how they did for Life is Strange. They have 5 episodes, and episode 5 just recently came out a couple weeks ago, or a week ago, and I beat it recently. And these are just gonna be some random thoughts I got going on. A lot of people didn't like the ending. They thought it was a bit of a mess. The final episode. That took me by a bit of a surprise because I was really blown away with how they did the final episode. You see where they're coming from. And for some of the series, I can see this even throughout the episodes. Some of the writing's not too great. It's like, I think it was. This was a. No, I don't want to say anything. I forget where the development team was based for this, but either way, like a lot of the conversation didn't seem natural. It sounded like they were trying to be too relevant to like teenagers, how they talk, like using emojis and stuff in the texts, and go F your selfie was a big line of the series, which is just silly. And the whole, like, everything focused on selfies. Max takes selfies, what she's known for, and all these corny insults. I get that. Some of the writing's pretty immature, and some of it's just poorly written. But I think for the most part, it's really cool because the story is not like a super. Well, it's unrealistic because of the time traveling aspect, but it also. You have a certain way to relate to people, especially if you're around their age, I guess. Teenagers, late teenagers age. You can easily relate to it, a lot of the situations that are going on. And then you just add in the element of time travel. It doesn't make it crazy, it just makes you wonder, like, what if you had these powers? Like, what would you do in these situations? That's what it asks you. Ultimately, a lot of the decisions don't really have that much weight is one of the problems, because you can always rewind and try again or whatever. But I guess it makes it interesting when you're going to stick with after seeing both options. But the whole consequence, or at least decision making thing, is lightened from that, because your decisions just don't have as much weight, and you don't care as much because it's like, I'll just rewind time if anything goes bad, right? It's just a weird way it works out. But I want to say what I love about this game is its presentation. I think is just stellar. Like, even if the writing is not like as strong as it could be, I really like how they presented everything. Just everything from the text to the journal entries. It seems like they know what they're doing, like, style wise. And then really in the final episode, I really liked how they presented everything abstract wise, and just the way they display these relationships. It makes you appreciate just what would be a regular relationship in real world. But you add in the aspect of time traveling and all this crazy consequences and things happening. It really makes it interesting. But I think like things like music choice, and just presentation. It was really consistent presentation. It wasn't like hardcore rock and then modern pop or anything like all over the place. It was like consistent music style. It was some great music, I think, and it really worked to set the tone for each time they played. Of course, a glaring flaw is the lip syncing. It's a bit like this, and then it's really bad lip syncing. Like, you quickly learn that you don't want to focus on looking at the face while they're talking. you'll just kind of like pay attention to what they're saying, look a little away. You know, if they make more games in the future, which I hope they do, there's a lot of potential. If they just improve upon a couple things, stronger dialogue, and then animation, boom, you got it. If you can look at them, what they're doing, if you could express emotions like what Heavy Rain was so praised, or L.A. Noire was so praised for doing, was like the emotion. If you could just capture that kind of thing and put it in there, I think that would be great, a great product. Well, I didn't nitpick as much as some people did, but I really appreciate just the gameplay where there's so many things to look at, like kind of an RPG sense where you could wander around, you could talk to a lot of people, find out more little information that you don't necessarily need, but it's cool to know. You can just, from talking to more people. And also you had the whole picture taking aspect. You had to take pictures of certain positions, which wasn't that great. I mean, I didn't really dedicate myself to finding them because I didn't feel like it made too much sense to do that to begin with, but in the context of the story. But I really liked going around looking at different things, hearing your commentary on it. It was really cool, seeing like the character's insight. And it's great to see characters that's not unrealistic. They make mistakes just like everyone else would in the situation, just as much as they make good decisions, and very like insecure, unsure of herself. And it's like a female protagonist, not sexualized whatsoever. And yeah, it was really cool how they managed to just capture that, not go with any gimmicks in that sense. But yeah, I really liked how it turned out in the end. I thought you really felt the weight. It really depends on if you care about certain characters or not, but I mean, it struck a chord with me because like I could relate to that. It's like, how much do you stick to your friend even if you just keep having to rewind time to save them, it seems. So I don't know, I thought it was really cool. If you played the game, tell me what you think, because I know a lot of people had problems with it, especially the last episode. But I really loved the presentation on the last episode, especially with how they presented it. If you like, you have to appreciate the story. Like, I watched Far From Subtle play this game, and he really didn't. He does this with a lot of games like this, so he just nitpicks and complains about so much of it, and then like he acts like a child, like, oh, I'm bored, but he doesn't really give it a chance. You have to put yourself in the character's shoes, how they feel about different characters, and then appreciate what their bonds, and then you can appreciate way more the ending, how it went, how it took you through all the experiences you've had together. Was awesome, I thought. But yeah, I definitely recommend checking it out at least. Definitely try episode 1 if you're interested, and then stick with it, because it's only $5 for the first episode, or you can get the season pass. Well, I mean, yeah, alright. Thank you guys for watching.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Follow me on Twitter.